According to a recent report from the federal government, homelessness in America has reached an all-time high. More than 770,000 people experienced homelessness last year. That's an 18% increase over the previous year. Let's bring in NBC News correspondent and NBC News Now daily anchor Morgan Radford, who has more reporting on this. Morgan, great to see you. What did you learn?
Hey there, Willie. Good morning. Listen, perhaps nowhere is the homelessness problem more stark than it is in Las Vegas, Nevada, where one outreach organization says there's more than 1,000 people living right now underground in a system of rainwater tunnels. I went there to see it firsthand, and I wanted to find out what it actually means to live in their underground world and meet the small team of people that's working to bring their situation to light.
How long have you been in this tunnel?
In these tunnels? About 5 years, since COVID.
For a 39-year-old man who wants only to be known as Tree, this
You can walk it.
is home.
They had one homeless shelter that was overran, and I just followed the tracks and ended up down here.
That place, a network of tunnels stretching hundreds of miles, originally meant to divert rainwater, and now home to an entire underground population, all living just a few feet under the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip.
How many people do you estimate are living here right now?
Approximately 12 to 1,500.
So we are 3 feet
Caesar's Palace.
beneath Caesar's Palace on the Las Vegas Strip.
You said it yourself. You've been here many times. You would never even know it was here.
I feel like I've spent so many times looking up at the lights, I have never once looked down.
Rob Banghart works for Shine a Light, an organization that helps guide people out of homelessness through services like addiction treatment, mental health care, and access to housing. He comes here with a team of caseworkers every Saturday, hoping to reach people like David.
Does it ever get hard to be in the dark for so many hours?
No.
No? You get used to it?
Yeah.
Rob was addicted to a number of substances and says he's now been clean for nearly 7 years. This is a world he once knew firsthand.
I was underground for about 2.5 years. I had found somewhere that I could go and be left alone and not bothered and not have to worry about the direct sun or the wind or the randomness, right? And there was a lot of chaos in my tunnel too, but it was like the devil I knew.
A devil in the darkness.
Aaron, can you turn off that light so people can really feel just how dark and still it is down here? Okay, turn it on. Yeah, I mean, that is powerful. That's meaningful.
Yeah.
The choice or the circumstance that would bring you to this level of darkness, of desperation, of solitude.
We've made them feel so not a part of that they retreat underground because it's that guilt and shame, like just walking around. I haven't showered in a year. I haven't shaved. Yeah, you feel, I lived in the same world as you, but not the same society.
Nationwide, the latest data shows more than 771,000 people experienced some kind of homelessness in 2024.
We want homes for the homeless.
A nationwide crisis playing out from New York.
Do not throw away my belongings.
Where an increase in evictions and an influx of asylum seekers has strained shelters.
You gotta go!
To Hawaii, where a devastating wildfire affected thousands.
Everyone I know is now homeless.
The Trump administration has attempted to freeze some of the $5 billion allocated in 2021 for homelessness assistance. NBC News reached out to the White House for comment, but did not receive a response by deadline. Rob worries recent cuts in federal funding will jeopardize services for people like Jay, who says he's lived in the tunnels for 13 years.
Why did you choose to live down here instead of live on the surface?
It doesn't matter where you go, you can't be there. I just try to stay out of sight, out of mind. So this is more out of sight and out of mind than up top.
Do you want to go back to the surface?
It doesn't even matter. I mean, I have no. Yeah, I just don't care.
A life in limbo, hidden in plain sight. Clark County, which oversees homeless resources for the Las Vegas Strip, did not respond to our request for comment. We also reached out to the city of Las Vegas, which handles homeless outreach outside of the Strip, and they said that the city's Courtyard Homeless Resource Center provides a range of services for the homeless, available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
Morgan, terrific reporting, and so almost dystopic, this idea of all cities, particularly Las Vegas, such a monument to excess above the ground, and yet literally feet below the surface, this whole underworld and tough conditions. So talk to us about the funding involved here and what resources are needed. Are they in jeopardy?
Yeah, the resources, frankly, are in jeopardy because you're not only talking about things, that deal with housing first solutions, but you're also talking about the underlying issues like addiction, which is what you saw many of the people we interviewed were suffering from. And so when you look at places like putting the CDC funding on the chopping block, a lot of people don't realize that the funds that are fighting the opioid crisis specifically, many of those are funneled through the CDC. So how do you have a war on drugs if you're not providing the resources to actually fight that? And then it's not just the resources, it's also just the cohesion and the network of coordination. So if you don't have an address, how do you get your government documents? How do you navigate the medical system? How do you get transitional housing? And what if you don't have internet? So coordinating all those resources is hard when you're not having a starting address in the first place.
Such a fascinating look at this, literally below the surface. Morgan Radford, just an excellent report. Thank you so much, Morgan. Still ahead.